especially if you're coming out and you got some heroic high maul gear, you are slightly overgeared in the early portions of the raid. And so the first few bosses won't offer much challenge to you, but then when you get towards the later end and you get to the final boss himself, you actually run into a real challenge. So it's good to see Blizzard take a stance for once.
Let me get this. Let's get it hyped up. Applying the intro music. I love this intro music. Oh, where did I put it? I had it. Where it is? It said it's like the Bible sample or something. Where is it? I just had it. Overlay. There. Don't want to go inside a recycler bin. People see what I just basically deleted. They don't need to know that. It's okay. I'll look for it next time. KG, why are you so dark? Turn on the fucking lamp! They can't see your face! You're just darkness!
Good. Darkness.
No! Turn... I'm serious, turn on some light!
Give me a second. I'm in a fucking rank match.
Why are you in a rank match? You're gonna go emo during the podcast! Turn on a light! Why are you so dark? You are too dark! Why are you so dark? You look like you're some kind of creepy stalker guy because you're light skinned and the way the shadows are reflecting off his face. Look at his face, Savers. He looks like he's one of those stalker guys. And the fucking look, that's how he'll look right before he's in the alleyway before he's about to try to rape a man or try to touch his butt or something. KG got that stalker face. Don't look directly into the camera like that. It's just creeping like a motherfucker. Yeah, KG's creepy. Look how creepy he is. Yeah, it's too spooky. He's spooky. KG need to get a motherfucking. Like.
Yeah.
Opposite, he's tired of being light skinned, so he need the lights on.
Okay. Let me see here. Alright, so let's go and get started. KG's inside of a ranked match, which that's what fucking KG does anyway. But anyways. Welcome to Debo Friends, podcast number 3, where we talk about everything and anything in gaming. Basically, here with KG Medea, also known as Man Stand on Twitch community, and also Savis on Savis Gaming on Twitch TV. How you guys doing today? Chilling. What about you, KG? KG right now, he might be a little distracted. He's playing ranks. I so hope you lose that rank match so people can see how salty you are and drink your tears.
No, they don't need to see that.
So terrible. Anyways, we're going to try to keep it down to an hour and 15 minutes today. We'll see how that happens, but we got a lot of good stuff to talk about due to Mr. Savis finding some good stuff to talk about. First thing we're going to talk about today is League of Legends Garena, which I do believe is Savis. I think it's what, established in Taiwan, right?
Nice. I don't actually, you know what? Maybe. I know they ran like the Southeast Asia thing for a while, and they're still kind of where they are. They're no longer, well, I guess they're official, but they're not like as big as they used to be. They're kind of like a wild card region now. So, because there's a different one that has the former Garena teams in it.
Well, Garena,
I can't remember the name of it. If is it It's not LPL, because LPL I think is the Chinese league,
right?
And then the JL is the Japanese players, and you got the LCK, which is Korea now. You know what's OGM for those who knows it as OGM. But yeah,
I used to play on the server a long time ago.
Where the season 2 champions, Taipei Assassins, they came from the Garena.
Oh yeah, and one of the guys was really good with playing. I think it was Alistar. One of them liked playing Alistar. That was
probably the support mistake.
Yeah, he played a he played a ridiculous Alistar because he was straight landing every combo. Like every time he headbutted, it was followed up with he comboed it perfectly and stuff. Little fact, they said the reason why he was able to do that so well is because he was lagging so much. So he that's how he first discovered out the combo, because he was smashing keys, and that was the rest. But anyway, let's get into it. Garena holds a all-female League of Legends tournament, allows only lesbian, gay, transgender female player per team. So, 1 year ban for entire team if this rule is violated knowingly or unknowingly. Now, the all-female League of Legends tournament is cool, and the only thing I have to say is it gets real awkward after you read that statement, right? I mean, that seems a little awkward.
I thought that you would have different feelings on the organization of a separate league just for females. I know some people feel like, you know, why not just have it be, because it's not like football or soccer or anything else, you know, where you can say, well, males have a physical advantage for whatever reason, or, you know, bodies with higher levels of testosterone have an advantage of, in some way. But that's actually what they're trying to say here, is that being transgender or somehow being a lesbian would give you an advantage over the
Was that the reason?
LGBT female players. And then it doesn't matter if you know the person is, if you know you have more than one on your team or not. If you violate this rule, the entire team gets banned. It's weird though. It's not the thing that they want their own league. This is just a tournament that Garena started or were trying to set up for all female league players, and I don't think it's really the first of its kind, but it's the first that comes out with this rule. And Riot even had to tweet that all of their official leagues welcome LGBT players, and had to say that they're trying to like, they tweeted about it and said that, you know, they're going to try to make sure that all the regions are, you know, up on the rules and everything, so everybody can be on the same page. So I don't know what Riot is going to do about this. I don't know if Garena is going to change the rules about it. You know, if they just throw that whole thing out, like, you know, let you come in and say, well, you can have more of this person. You know, I don't know if it's that detailed. I think it's just, if it comes to light that you have two players on your team that happen to be lesbian or transgender or whatever, you get punished for it. You get a year-long ban for the entire team.
What they could have said is, they could even stated maybe like, the reason why we want to do this is just because maybe they could even have said, and this still wouldn't have been correct. They could have said something like, because we had situations before where player relationships or sexual fiasco, people dating each other on the team. That's why we have it like that, because they're not.
But
and that's still kind of weird though. There's no way you could really.
That's overreaching. That's none of their fucking business.
Yeah, there's no way you could do about that. But the reason I think is because you remember, like, the only thing I can say, and this is gonna sound horrible, like, you know, in some of the in the Asian culture, in those areas, you know, there's a lot more transsexuals, and that's fine. Well, it might be frowned upon, or I just would just say, I know there's a lot of transsexuals and there's a lot of gay people there, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But I guess the whole thing is, it's kind of like what the whole thing Scarlett had to go through, being a transgendered, you know. And some people say, well, she's not really a female and certain skills as a male, but then again, in an esports game, it shouldn't really matter.
Did she ever run into a situation where they? Well, see, I guess not, because there was no all-female StarCraft league.
Exactly.
So I wonder if there was. And I highly doubt if Blizzard ran something like that, or even a Blizzard affiliate ran something like that. Something so silly would come up and says, you know, you know, oh, you can't include these people, or if you have more than one. So
actually, somebody just linked right now in the stream right now. They just said they removed it. Yeah, they removed it
after it came out. Everybody heard about it, and Riot tweeted about it, you know, and so they reversed the decision.
I wonder why they even had that rule in the first thing, especially nowadays. You can't really say something like that. Now, Garena, if they own Riot and they own the company, then I think they would have still kept their own rules and stipulations. But you can't make rules like that when you're just, I don't want to say they're a subsidy, but they don't own Riot. They're just doing their tournament. And they would. That's weird.
Here's a quote. It says, after they go back on it, they say we always want to make sure we're able to have an inclusive environment where no one feels left out, and of course for everybody to enjoy. On this angle, we believe that allowing more to be eligible to join is obviously the answer, and as many of our female teams have expressed, lesbian, gay, transgender women members are their friends too. On the other hand, for any competitions, we seriously look at ensuring there's a fair, level playing field for all participants, and there are arguments and concerns from other participants who dispute that lesbian, gay, transgendered women members may probably have some unfair advantage. How exactly? How?
The only thing I could say is this: if especially in that culture, maybe you have some males that play in league and they play at a certain level or whatever, right? Even though it shouldn't have, and then they just say, I'm pre. I mean, they could do that. I mean, just think about it. Let's say the prize pool is, let's say the first place prize is $50,000, right? And let's just say I'm a young Asian male, and I could put on some makeup and do this and just say I'm this of this accord, right? And I rank high, and I know it's a tournament's easy just to win. And then they come in. I mean, let's not be mean, but let's be honest. I think the only reason why females are not at the level, or I think there are a lot of females out there that are at the level in league as a lot of the males are, but it's just not a lot of them. It's not because they can't be, it's just the numbers. So let me say that first. But if, let's say it was $50,000 up there, with money on the line, especially in some of those places and stuff like that, you can't say that a couple of dudes just dress up as females and just go and just say, hey, look, I'm trans, gendered, and I'm post-op or pre-op or whatever. They would say pre-op, and then you get 3 or 4 people on that team, and you have one real girly girl, and then you do it.
Another good question. How would they determine it?
Exactly.
Do they get physicals for this shit?
It's all messy. What they just need to say, all they needed to say was this. If you need to be female, that's it. And then if they're gay, if they're a lesbian female, who cares? And if they are transsexual, then as long as they're post-op, which means is after the operation, you could say something like, then you can specify. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's all they had to say. It's just weird.
I don't know. I think the whole thing is dumb as shit. If you're gonna have because here's the thing, if they identify as female, then you let them in. It's that simple. You can't make a rule to say, well, you're not a natural born female, or you're not a female, and we're not gonna recognize that you identify as a female. This league is for natural born females or anything like that. Anything that they would have said would have been exclusive, and it just wouldn't have been a good look. It wouldn't have been smart for them, and it wasn't smart for them to come out. And I don't know what idiot actually said, like, hey man, let's actually publish this and say that this is cool.
Yeah, they definitely should have put that in the fine print. Like, long story short, I'm surprised. I think in the future, Riot might have some rules and regulations for the tournaments and leagues that work with them. They might have them have to correspond with Riot and send them an itinerary list if they want to try something like this again.
I think Riot probably felt like they never had to do anything so stupid.
Yeah. I mean, because automatically over here, you can't say nothing like that. You get strung up by your toes now.
Like it's just like they're like, no, you can't do this, especially as an official Riot affiliate. You just can't, and those ads. You got to find a way to disable those ads during the. Or
it will be up on the YouTube. Watch the ads. It'll be up on the YouTube, uninterrupted, except for that 5-second ad that plays right before the whole show comes on. Yeah, I'll look into that.
Ryan kind of shut it down though.
That's good.
Decision ultimately. I don't have a problem.
And that's not an issue. Like a bunch of people dressing up as females. That's not an issue. I haven't heard of that ever happening in any esports tournament. And it is what it is, I guess, right?
Do they have for female-only events, let's say like the Olympics and stuff, like has there been anything like that? I know in the UFC there was some controversy about a transgendered fighter.
I think if it's anything pertaining towards your physiology of like your actual body, I'm pretty sure in the Olympics you could not be a transgender and compete with women. I don't think they would allow that.
I wonder, has that ever come up though? Like I said, I know about the incident in the UFC where they were saying that the transgender fighter had an unfair advantage because she used to be a man.
Yeah, I can understand that because her body could still. It depends. Like, is she post-op? Is she still taking the right hormones? Is she taking more? There's a lot of different crazy things like that. But
I mean,
Balls off.
I guess I can somewhat understand.
and it also depends if that person's winning.
In situations
Like if
like
that
that.
person was winning a lot, then I could understand people, challenging that shit. It's just something interesting to look into because, I mean, there is differences between men and women when you're talking about physical
any
actions and stuff.
controversy though in those? I know there was some controversy in the UFC. Was there any controversy in the swimming thing? Was there any controversy in the running thing? Did anybody bring it up as an issue about having because we all remember the guy in the what was it, the Special Olympics or the Paralympics?
The bent back, the bent back
where the
plate
guy
the
had
clips.
double amputee, and
Yeah.
after he, ended up winning, they said he had an unfair advantage, and he didn't actually have. I don't know what it was like. His legs were cut off above the knees, right?
Yeah,
So
something
he
like
had
that.
like prosthetic legs, and they said he had an unfair advantage because of that.
Which is really crazy
After allowing him
because
to compete in the first place,
yeah,
and they take away his win.
because to me it's
that
like
was the guy who ended up killing his girlfriend, though, right? So I'm not gonna defend that guy too much.
really he did.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it's Oscar Pistorius or something like that, and he snapped
that's
out.
crazy.
He's a South African runner or something like that, and he apparently I don't know if he was on the roids or what.
No, that was somebody completely different.
Was it?
Yeah, the guy who had the prosthetic legs who got cut off. It was we call him Tink Tink from that one skit by that one comedian, Cat Williams.
Yeah.
He's a Caucasian guy.
Right, yeah. So is Oscar Pistorius.
Oh, really? Oh, well, then it might have been the same guy. But at the end of the day, that is questionable. I think we'll just have to say we'll have to worry about what it happens, and it's not really happening a lot. All I can say is this. If you were born a female and if you were born a male and you decide to become a female, which is fine, and then you can you actually compete in anything that actually there is a physicality difference, you got the WNBA and the NBA. It's not that women can't compete with men. It's just it's unfair because it's imbalanced. It's just you can't do that. So I think if a person were to do that and they were winning a lot of tournaments, then I think they would step in and be like, okay, well, what's going on here? I think a person would have to be winning. If they're just doing okay, they're not gonna
Nobody's
look
gonna
too
look
much
into it. But that's not cool though. It should be across the board.
Yeah. But the difference is in esports, it doesn't matter because it's all about there is no physical prowess. It's just like you have in the poker league.
Right.
They don't have women only poker because some women are just they're bluffing and making smart plays in poker. It doesn't discriminate because that game doesn't require any physical effort or it doesn't require any physicalness on your body.
So we can all agree that this whole thing was pretty fucking dumb. Cause
it was just stupid.
You have an unfair advantage because you're a lesbian playing against other girls in a game of checkers, or a game of chess. It's the same damn thing. It's not even physicality doesn't even come into play when we're talking.
I think what it was that they were getting so confused with, and they could have did this a whole different way, is because when they did female stuff like that for League of Legends before for online tournaments or different things,
there were guys playing for girls.
Exactly.
These weren't live tournaments. These were online tournaments, so there was no way. But they've had issues like that of ringers being used in general, not just guys playing for girls, but there were more skilled players in general playing for lesser skilled players in low elo tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that just happens in online tournaments. This was a live event, so there's no way for a guy to come in and pretend to be somebody else. To take that was never. There's never any potential.
Yeah, I try to look at it from different ways. This is just stupid. I think we all can agree upon that. That was just silly. I think what Riot needs to do in the future is just basically screen stuff for future tournaments and certain events. So if anything happens like that again, then they can just deal with it right away and just nip it in the bud. If you guys want the link to it, we're gonna go ahead and I'll put the link in the chat.
What's gonna happen ultimately is people are gonna if these little tournament leagues and stuff, and like I said, Garena wasn't a small tournament league. Up until recently, they were a respectable size. The GPL was, and I think they played on the Chinese servers or something like that. I don't think they played on the Korean servers. I'm pretty sure it was the Chinese servers. But they were a respectable league for the most part. You know.
Well, hopefully they just don't do nothing silly like this again. I don't think no one's going to give them too much crap for it because they rescinded it, and I'm pretty sure they
Yeah,
won't
I mean
do
it's
that
over
again.
now, but they got shit, and that's why they rescinded it because well, people like what the fuck, man? What is this dumb shit? What are you talking about?
Pretty much. All right, let's move on to the next topic. Good topic here. I wanted to talk about this last week, but here we are with it here. Online-only gaming. Steam may finally get real competition from good old games, Origin, Uplay, poor quality platforms. I buy a lot of. Well, I ain't gonna lie. I bootleg a lot of stuff, and I shouldn't admit this, but nothing better than waking up in the morning when there's a Steam sale on, looking at all the games on Steam, and going to bootleg them. I do that. I'm so bad,
Well,
but for the most part, I like Steam's platform. I think it offers a good way to get your games that you want in all one place. I like how you can play it in the offline mode and stuff like that. I like how they have all the sales but the big thing was the whole issue is just Steam. It might be getting competition from good old games, but maybe you know more about the save. I haven't heard too much about them that much. What's up with the good old games, man?
I'm trying to find the exact link, but there was a story about a guy who was really, really unhappy with Steam, and he was one of the biggest curators of something, and he removed his whole library from Steam, and he's talking about opening up his own thing to compete with them. This is a separate person.
Oh, okay.
GOG, they were called Good Old Games, and they did some other stuff. If you go you can check out their website to see a little bit. But basically what they were offering, and actually there's probably a link to the original story, or was it? No, there wasn't, so because I'm silly. But anyway, GOG is offering a gaming platform that does not require you, because everybody knows, like, there are a lot of games on Steam that you have to be logged into Steam to play, and if the Steam servers are down, you lose access to the games that you paid for. And this is one of the main arguments that they're making, you know, that online for them and for their platform is optional. You see those same issues with Origin and those same issues with Uplay, plus Uplay and Origin more or less suck, and no one likes either one, and no one uses either one.
Yeah, you playing Origins, I must admit,
so they're
bad.
not realistically part of the conversation. You know, it was just thrown out there to be like, these were guys who tried to compete against Steam, and they were not able to because they didn't actually offer a decent, you know, alternative realistically.
Now, I will say this though. The DRM involving Steam has never been a problem for me. If you're always online and doing stuff like that, I think with Steam, for the most part, I've never had any issues. The only issues I have with DRM is, like you said, Uplay and Origins, because they have a lot of bad issues, and it really does affect their gameplay. And their clients are very sloppily implemented to the point where it does affect your actual gameplay. But with Steam, I have no problem with this, but I will say this. Not being able to have access to my games that I paid for, and some of these games don't even have any online content, like going online and doing stuff, is a little bit frustrating. And I think there could be potential, a really big market for people who don't want to deal with DRM. With the good old games. What do you think, Save? I think they're going to do very well. I don't know if they'll be at the same level as Steam, though.
I think a lot of people are getting fed up with Steam. And Steam offers cool stuff, but there's a lot of arguments against it. The whole Steam green light.
Yeah, the green light's been very bad. That's very tacky.
It's almost like a Kickstarter and stuff. Like, one of the arguments that the one guy was making against it was like Steam used to be like this really, really exclusive and this sort of gamer platform where you would go on Steam and you know you're going to get some amazing games, and you know that any game that's being touted on Steam is actually going to be good. Now you got a bunch of bullshit. Even with the sales that happen, you know, a lot of stuff will be sold for cheap, but they'll be horrible games. You know, and anybody can go up there and the way games are greenlit is just people go in and it's like, hey, this game looks cool, or I really want to play this game, you know, and they just go in and they kind of vote or upvote it or something like that.
Yeah, there's been certain things where people have been able to do that, and it's made it look very shady with the illegitimate, like the whole Zoe Quinn thing. Her project, her game got green lighted, and it was done illegitimately and stuff.
And then a lot of these games, they end up selling like founders packs or early access, and then they do that shit, and the games are incomplete, and then they end up not even coming out, and people lose their fucking money for a game that just got entirely scrapped. And Steam greenlights this shit. Steam gives these people the go ahead.
And I think on for Kickstarters, if you don't provide the product that was intended, everybody gets their money back, right?
I'm not entirely sure how Kickstarter works in that regard.
Yeah.
But I've heard stories of Kickstarter products and games and stuff not being delivered either.
Yeah, that's true too. The Project Greenlight thing, well, okay. If we're talking about DRM and different, okay, we're talking about online competition and stuff like that. In terms of just providing games and people enjoying themselves, I honestly think Steam is doing a pretty good job in that sense. And it's up to companies to deliver a good content PC port for what it is. Steam is just the place where people go to get these games, download them, and play them. I think Steam could be a lot better with the whole online thing. I don't think if they could be a little bit more understanding with that, or maybe make it so that the companies decide whether or not, okay, do you want to make it real easy for people to play offline, or do you require people? I think that could be left to the companies, but yeah, the good old gaming is good because it avoids all the DRM bullshit. They have a lot of good retro games, and then you don't have to worry about it. If you're at the airport, on a plane, anywhere, you can play your games whenever you want, right? That's the appeal.
It's gonna come down to the games that they actually have in the library ultimately. Because if they are able to get the games that people actually want to play, and then people don't have to be online to play them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm not even sure, like, I don't know if the way it'll work, like, you won't even have to log in. The only reason you would, it'd be optional. Online would be optional. I really, really wish I had a link to the actual little website again, because it was GOG something, but I can't find it. To see exactly what it is.
Well, and you know, and a while back, about a year and a half ago, I started looking at. I saw a couple of sites popping up that sold games that were just basically like, you know, let's say they would have like the what's the one game? What's that one RPG game? Everybody, Fallout. You could get Fallout 1 and 2. They were charging $20, which was a good deal for both games. You download the game. They have all the different types for your computer. It even had a point where it would tell you which one to download. It would download, and it was your game after that. And that was it. You could download the game as many times as you... Well, I don't know if it was as many times as you want, but all I know is that you download the game, and then you didn't have to be online or be connected or anything like that.
Here's the crazy thing, right? A lot of these people concerned about game copying and shit like that. When the fuck, you know, back in the day, I got a disc. I could take that disc and install that fucking shit as many times as I wanted to.
Yeah, that's very true.
It used to work. You know what I'm saying? It's my game. I can take that game and play it anywhere.
And if you want to put it on somebody else's computer, the only thing it required you was to have the CD inside the game, and then I think game developers got too concerned on, because here's my philosophy. Someone's always going to bootleg your shit, but if you have a good quality product, it's going to sell. Because I've never seen a non-good quality product not sell. It sells itself. So if they just focused on producing good quality content, then why are you so concerned about how many times we downloaded and different things like that?
That's the platform, at least, you know. Let's see what they say. Fair price pack. Like they talk about pricing and things. It says because $1 is not €1, and they just this is right.
Yeah,
DRM
see, this is
means
nice.
No copy protection, no online checks.
Grim Fandango Remastered, $14.99. Witcher 3, the new one out, $53.99. You pre-order, you get 10% off. That's a good prize. I like this. I like how they got everything set up. And like you said, all this is DRM free, right?
It says
so
if a product on GOG.com costs more in your country than the price in the U.S., we'll make up the difference in value out of our own pockets and offer it to you as a store credit that you can use towards any further purchase.
And see, this is what I'm talking about. When people get fed up and tired, and this is what companies get scared of, because you got these guys who are actually legitimately just trying to provide you a good service. It seems like they're just trying to make enough profit so they can pay all their employees and staff and keep them on maintaining the site and stuff like that, and maybe make a good profit margin line, but not to the point where it's greed.
I think Steam needs the competition.
I do agree with you on
Competition is
that.
healthy,
It is
you
very
know, and it
healthy.
keeps people honest. It keeps
Yep,
companies honest.
precisely. We were talking about with the predicament with Blizzard, and what they do is they, when you don't have any competition, you kind of go herp to derp.
Mm-hmm.
Man, they got a really good game category. As I'm just kind of scrolling through everything, it looks like, I mean, it's a lot of games I'd play, at least for RPGs and different things like that. And it's just refreshing to see that they actually have this here. Do you think they're going to cater to a lot of the well, probably not the probably indie developers that are actually already have their game produced? I don't think they're ever going to do a Project Greenlight or
Yeah.
something for GOG,
Where
and
people
they don't
sell
need to.
unfinished games, like
Yeah, I really don't like that. For the most part and stuff like that. We haven't talked to KG. How do you feel about all this stuff, KG? Do you like Steam? Do you buy a lot of games on Steam anymore? I don't think KG really does. I mean, only games I know he buys are like disc games for like his PS4 and shit.
Well, here, this is what I bought on Steam so far from my library. I have Final Fantasy, of course, I bought on Steam. And
Yeah, I'll give you that. That's a good one.
so I actually bought Blaze Blue, Calamity Trigger, and Continuum Shift on Steam, as well as Skullgirls. That's about it. I don't got anything else. I kind of wanted to get the Dynasty Warriors, but I haven't really looked at it yet. Whenever it comes out, the Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires, so I kind of want to play it on the computer. Other than that, I look through Steam sometimes, but I don't really grab stuff all the time. And
I mean, do you not grab stuff because
it's not that
would
it's cheap.
you find yourself buying more stuff? Would you rather own the physical product, or at least be able to like not have to be online to play it? Does that affect your purchases, or you really don't care?
Well, I don't have those situations that make it to where I'm not online, so
I never thought about it before,
it doesn't bother me.
but I just went to load Transistor, right? And
Right.
it loaded Steam, which means if for whatever reason I couldn't access Steam, I couldn't play Transistor. That's how it works, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's fucking awful.
Yeah, I have to
Because
agree
I
with you
have
upon
actually
that one.
had times where I didn't have internet, and the whole point was like I had these games installed on my computer, and I wanted that was what
And you
kept
wanted
me.
to play
It
them.
was like I had stuff to play still, even if I couldn't play the online games that I had. So I would just play the stuff that I had already had installed in the game, on the computer that didn't require an internet connection. And so if the game doesn't require an internet connection, I still can't play it because I can't get on Steam. That's stupid as fuck.
You know what? This is also starts going into something else as well too, and this is going to relate to GameStop big. Because there's so many digital sales going on like now, like GameStops are actually starting to get put out of business, or at least not put out of business, but they're reducing how many stores they're opening and stuff like that, and they're trying to move into phone and tablets because the gaming industry is moving towards digital, and they can't make a 90% markup value on games anymore.
Right.
And how this relates to this is here's the thing: if everything keep getting pushed online, eventually at some point, you gotta have online to connect and play these games. But I mean, digital downloads, even for online games, if you could buy a digital online game, you could play it as much as you want. But if they do something with DRM and stuff where you have to be online connected just to enjoy this game because they're worried about that, then I think they should sell it to you at a reduced price, because technically you don't own the game. You can't take it with you and go play somewhere else. But if somebody were to offer Assassin's Creed, which is a horrible game, I'm going to use as an example, for like $75 that downloads and I can play as much as I want, that's fine. But if they have like a $40 option where you have to be online and connect through an online service or something like that, I wouldn't mind doing that. But they definitely need to make it so you can have some type of ownership over all this digital stuff that's coming out now, because that's going to be pretty apparent in the future.
It's probably a long ways away. But all of this stuff, like, for instance, let's look at Diablo 3. The fiasco that was its launch, people not being able to log in.
Yeah, that got me mad. They have a video of that, me going emo.
And because it for whatever reason, I don't know why, like, online should have been optional for D3, just like it was for D2. You know what I'm saying? There was no reason for them to make that game online only. It's pretty fucking stupid.
Yeah, and they said the reason why they did that was because they didn't want people to get the hacks and figure out stuff, but people are still exploiting and finding other things.
So what's the problem?
Yeah, and then they also made a console version of the game as well too. I mean, basically, all you have to do is just you allow people to
All
play
of
the
the console
game.
people are hacking. I was talking.
And well, the console people, only thing they don't like is people that are hacking and cheating. Some care, some don't. But with the PC version, you just have, if you go online, it's on Blizzard servers, and if you play single player, it's on your local computer. Then everybody wins. I don't understand that really, but I guess at the end of the day, competition from Steam is good, but good competition, because I don't think Origin and honestly Uplay are competition for Steam, because they're pretty terrible. And I mean, Steam is just Steam, man. I hope they start getting back to how they used to be, but
I haven't bought a lot of stuff on Steam.
I haven't really anymore. And a lot of games I buy on Steam I don't play.
I'll tell you right now, if all the games that I have on Steam, if and they probably wouldn't do this, if GOG or whatever said that they'd match my game library, like I move over there in a heartbeat. But even if they won't match my game library, if they had these games available on GOG, I just run GOG, because I want to be able to, you know, because it gives you an option, like you said, to download a game digitally, but not be required to have.
If I could have bought Dragon Age Origins on GOG, I would have. Because let me tell you, every time I gotta go through that Origin shit, it is terrible. And then the way they do the DRM for that game, it actually runs through the Origin while I'm playing the game, and I'm getting slowdowns when I'm like, there's nothing on screen because the game's checking to make sure I'm not, you know, using a crack, and that's pretty terrible and stuff like that. But yeah, I think we agree with it. They just need to just keep doing what they're doing, and hopefully Steam will see and stop. My big thing, or maybe we could talk about this next week, is the whole green light thing, because I think the indie game industry has been hoarded out. But that one alone will take me an hour to really rage out about that, because
we can save that for another time. It's entirely up to you.
Oh, next subject. Here's a good one, and this one I always love, because you know I love to beat up on the Smash Brothers community. Smash Brothers creator considered quitting due to being overworked and development being too stressful.
For Super Smash Brothers?
Well, because keep in mind, Smash Brothers has a competitive atmosphere. It has a very big competitive stuff. I'll be right back. Yeah, you guys go talk. It's very competitive. So he's been stressing out over that.
Why didn't that go through?
Why would he be stressing out on that?
It was just the amount of work. I think he was really, really overworked on developing this game. And I mean, if you read a bit of the article and whatnot, and he just talks about it. He says he considered making this Smash Brothers the last Smash Brothers that he ever made, or possibly even the last game that he ever made, because it just took up entirely too much time. You know, I imagine the guy has a family and everything, and he has a life, and you know, it was stuff that I guess there was entirely too much. This quote says, "It was very tough this time around. I doubt I'll be able to go on making games if it continues like this, but I consider myself lucky that so many people seem to enjoy Smash Brothers."
All right, I'm back.
Because a fan wrote him a letter, and the fan said, "It sounds like development of Smash was really, really hard. Reading your column sent shivers up my spine. I've never seen you so worn out. It made me appreciate the new Smash more than ever." And that's when he responded with the way that he responded. Basically, making this game, I don't know, Nintendo or slave drivers maybe.
That, and then you know what, too, it doesn't help, too, the community of Smash was just, they were coming at him all kind of fucks up.
To the community?
He wasn't responding through the community, but if I'm a developer and stuff like that, and you got some, because this is what happens. He's probably developing. He just said he just wants Smash Brothers to be fun. That's all he wanted to do. But now he got to start thinking of balancing and looking about making the characters a certain way. And if you look at how the first Smash Brother was to now, it's like they're actually catering to the final destination. Yeah, there's big profits and stuff like that, but think about it. Smash Brothers probably doesn't have a big team of people developing. They probably have, I mean, they have the big team in the sense of people programming and doing stuff like that, but they don't really have like how Capcom has. And
yeah, but this guy's the director. He's the boss.
You know, And another big thing is too with Capcom. Capcom solved a lot of their problems by just basically taking people from the fighting game communities and listening to them and putting it inside the game. And then they have a separate company who develops the actual engine of the game and how the game actually works. And you got another part of the team that works on the balance and stuff like that. So I think maybe you're right, Savius. He's getting overwhelmed and maybe he needs to hire some people to help him balance. And because in all honesty, Nintendo wants their money. And I think eventually they are going to push esports for Super Smash Brothers because it's extra money for Nintendo. Why not, right? So he's going to have to deal with this eventually.
Actually, don't know if I agree with that because I don't think Nintendo cares that much about esports. Like Melee has a huge following, and I guess this is Smash related, I guess. But recently, Smash had an event. Apex, where they had Melee and they had Smash Wii U, Smash 4, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
And apparently there was some major disrespect from the Melee players or the Melee fans towards the Wii U players, man. I guess the Wii U tournament went on before the ending of the Melee tournament, and the guy who ended up winning the Wii U tournament, like, they were getting a lot of cheers, but, like, he felt disrespected because he felt like they weren't cheering for him. They were cheering because Wii U Smash was over and Melee was about to get up. You know, he couldn't even finish his acceptance or you know, give a little speech or anything like that because they were so ravenous about getting Smash Wii U off the stage and getting Melee.
Well, if they do that, let me tell you, right now, if they do that, that's going to kill their community. They got to stop that. Because I looked at the new Smash, it actually worked pretty well.
About it, man, and people were on Twitter responding to that, like people were responding to it, and they were like, "Man, we gotta stop because this makes us look bad as a community."
It makes you look extremely bad as a community because realistically, the Wii U is going to be the new platform because a lot of kids are growing up Wii U's. Very few new kids are growing up with the GameCube. I mean, I got a GameCube right here. I got this motherfucker right here.
What is it about Smash Brothers Melee though that stands out?
Oh, it's a highly complex game and it has lots of actions per minute. It has weight.
Versus, is that what it is? The speed? I do hear like so. Is Brawl? And I haven't played the
Smash Brothers is a highly more sophisticated, complex game compared to Street Fighter. And I know a lot of people are gonna get mad when I say that.
Yeah, but I mean specifically the difference between Melee and the other Smash Brothers as to why people.
Oh, because in Melee it's a lot more clean cut, straight to the point. It has a lot of good mechanics that were fantastic, and when they did the new Melee and stuff like that, I think the main developer didn't like some of the stuff that came out of Melee, and a lot of people like those technical aspects of it, and he did some stuff to casual stuff. Like, so what he did for like some things, like I heard in Brawl, is that they had this one thing, and then you can watch the videos where in Melee you can wave dash back and forth no problem, and I think you could do that in Brawl, but Brawl has a thing that every so often when you do that your character could trip or something, which is totally RNG.
That has happened, yeah.
And I think they took that out for the new one, but people didn't like that, and I understand it. But what you got to do is that, okay, if you like Melee, have your Melee tournament, have your Brawl tournament, and have your Wii U tournament, because it's all in essence the same game. Just
they
like
do have that, but here's the problem: they hold these events at the same place, and it's one stage. They're not big enough like some of the bigger, like a PAX or something, where you have. Or an MLG or something like that, where
they're big enough to be at Evo.
Stage.
They've been doing pretty good. They're not on the level of that esports, but they're like number 2 in pack. Well, yeah, that's true. But they're number 2 prize pool. They're like usually number 2 prize pool. Like, and they beat out, or like I think they're like number 2 or number 3 in the prize pool. So I think the money and the players are there. It's just the community that holds it back. In all honesty.
But I don't know if they'll have something like a BlizzCon where it's all Nintendo or it's all Smash.
Oh no, they'll never have that.
One stage has one stage has Wii U. You know what I'm saying?
If they were smart, they would work with sites like Shuriken and different sites and just try to be very friendly and encouraging the new players.
I think the last event, because again, Nintendo doesn't sponsor any of this. Nintendo's like, yeah, whatever, it's cool, yeah, I do that. Because remember, they didn't want Melee at Evo like a year or two ago. You know.
Oh, and then they raised all that money for charity, and that made them look bad.
Yeah, the fans were kind of like, "What the shit, man?" And after they made a big stink about it, they were like, "Yeah, okay, whatever, go ahead." But Nintendo has never like officially recognized this esports scene.
No,
around.
I think eventually they will, because it's free money.
If they did, how much it could grow.
It would be big money.
I feel like, you know, and I know you feel some kind of way about the whole Blizzard thing, and the way that they handle StarCraft. But look how they get behind Hearthstone, you know, and we all feel how we feel about Hearthstone, and look how they get behind that. Look how they'll probably get behind Heroes of the Storm. If they feel like something can make them money, Blizzard will support.
Exactly, because Blizzard got that Activision with it though, and Bobby Kotick is money hungry. I think Nintendo will come around, just like when they came around with the YouTube thing. I think it's just going to take them a lot longer to get situated and stuff like that, though. It's just a matter of time once they realize the monetary, because they make so much money off that game, Smash Brothers.
Yeah, it's hugely popular, man. And the concept of the game is good, man. It's a good game.
I know, Cage, you play a lot of Smash with your friends. Sometimes I know you would leave and go play Smash with your friends and stuff like that. Would you guys play Melee or Brawl more?
We were playing Brawl more, I think it was.
You played whatever the newest one was. That's what it was.
No, because we had the old one on GameCube too. We were playing that too. So, we played both.
It's a very in-depth game. There's a lot of interesting aspects of it. It's a high-level game. It requires like a high-level mechanics where the people like to me tomorrow. It's a lot more tedious than Street Fighter, let me tell you. You know, they have like ridiculous amounts of actions per minute as compared to Street Fighter and stuff like that. I just like hitting
people with Pokeballs and baseball bats.
Well, I mean, the one thing is, but I think they'll come around though, because they still do the tournament for Pokemon, but Pokemon's a multi-billion-dollar franchise, but they still do the Pokemon tournament every year, and they do the card game tournament.
They still do that? Because
every single year.
Is that the
and then
card
they have,
game, or is it digital like the?
It's the card game and the video game tournament.
And look,
and they have 3 leagues for each individual one. They have a kids or juniors league. They have the teen, and then they have adults and higher, and they do that for the video game too. So, and each of those are like
where the kids can play against like 40-year-olds.
Yeah. So they have all that. So obviously they keep doing it. So it's an interest. So I think eventually, in terms of Smash Brothers, they're gonna do it. It's just gonna take them a long time. And the Smash Brothers, it's up to them to basically push it to the next level, because the reason why they haven't got the endorsements and sponsorships is the stuff because the community for Smash is very toxic. Street Fighter is toxic, but it's not as bad. And then Street Fighter people, the fighting game community for EVO, they used to be very toxic, but when you notice like a lot of these guys started getting bigger, players started being more professional. Players, the only time you'll see something bad happen at a Street Fighter 4 tournament or something like that is if it's like at one of those, like at the arcade in New York somewhere downtown, a bunch of, you know, brothers or niggas up in the room and they all going crazy.
In the room.
That's just how it is. That's the only time you'll see them fight. But if it's at EVO, because you know what it is? Once they got those sponsorships, look at the fighting game tournaments. They got sponsors, they got t-shirts, and they're getting paid good money. They start behaving because they don't want to ruin their sponsorship. Like, well, what do you guys think?
Man, if you want your game and your community to grow, you can't behave like that, because you'll lose sponsorship and your game will die.
Yeah, just like if we got a sponsorship, yeah, you know me, I'd be bleeding out every type of curse. I wouldn't be like, y'all can't say this word no more. We can't. It's just it comes what it is, because you're being allowed to do what you love to do. I mean, I can ask both of you guys, like, if somebody paid you a certain amount of money and you couldn't say this or do this for your streams, but you were able to just do this full time, would you guys have any problems with it?
It's called having a job, nigga.
I wouldn't mind.
Everybody,
you know, so if Snickers or you know, Popeyes, Walmart, anybody wants to sponsor us, just let us know. We'll clean it up real good. We can put a huge Snickers below each of our name and stuff, your new products. But long story short, the Smash Brother guy should just be happy he has a job working where he at, because I'm pretty sure they pay him very well.
I can understand
And
though. I feel like if there's pressure, man, because you got making games is an art form, and you don't want to rush somebody and overwork them because the quality of the product will suffer in the long run, or you'll drive out developers who are really really good because
if I were him,
because the process is you're no longer happy with the process. You feel like, man, I don't want to make games anymore because it
he
got
probably
too
could have
tedious.
leverage though. If he wanted to leave out, if I were him, I'd leave and go work at another company. He has a good resume and make my own game where I could do
He'd
it how
have to
I
have
want.
creative freedom, man, and really just make the games that he wants to make in the time frame that he wants to make.
But
That's
Nintendo ain't gonna let him go though. We all can agree upon that. Because
I don't know if they have. It depends on if he's under contract or not.
you know. Well, fair enough. Well, hopefully he gets over his problems, and I think the game is gonna still grow.
Yeah.
They just need to stop being
If
so
they lose
toxic.
him, they'll just put somebody else in charge of it,
And
it'll
and
keep getting made. Smash
going
Brothers isn't going anywhere.
because they got the base mechanics of what the whole game needs to be and stuff like that. Okay. And let's get down to the last subject of the day, and this is one of the big ones. Yeah, somebody said we should do a 3D. We keep getting that, but maybe we will. But the last one is oh, this is a big one. Nintendo YouTube plan is already being planned out right now. So basically, what you guys didn't know is that okay, a couple months ago, you remember me and Nate Dogg, we were playing GameCube, playing Super Mario Kart on the GameCube Double Dash. Now, if you were to play that game, Nintendo would flag you for either their music inside the game or you actually flag playing their games and stuff like that. And a lot of other game companies, they really don't care about what you do or what you do with their games because it's like free advertisement. And in some companies, they try to ding you if you say something bad about their games and stuff like that. But Nintendo took it to a whole level. Like, you could stream and then upload something with Nintendo, and Nintendo would take monetization on it. So what they did is, instead of just letting people have free reign, is they made it so that if you sign up for the YouTube plan where you basically you want to stream Nintendo games, they'll take some of the profits and they'll split it with you. But when you sign into this, I do believe Save is right, like at any time they can determine if they want to give you nothing or more or whatever, right?
Well, okay. So here's the thing.
I'm a little biased, so you might have to listen to more say because you guys know my stance on Nintendo and YouTube,
this
which is
part
don't
of
do it.
Part of it, or whatever. I guess somewhere like right here, this is the thing. It says the Nintendo Creators Program says that this like the normal rate. It says YouTubers can register specific videos or entire channels with Nintendo. Individual videos can earn 60% of ad proceeds. Entire channels can earn 70%, unless Nintendo decides to change that. It says that the rate can change arbitrarily, basically meaning that Nintendo, like the wind can blow, and Nintendo can be like, well, we're going to give you 10% now. And there's nothing you can do about it because that's the contract, that's what you signed up for. Now, they're not likely to do this, but people or what people were saying initially was that, well, what will happen is that they're controlling the content that you put out. It's like if they allow you, because right now you can't do anything. You can't monetize your videos. And I think they'll remove certain videos, right? If you post them up, they'll just get them taken off of YouTube. Sega does this too. But it's like, let's say we put out a Mario Kart 8 video or we put out a Smash video and it's about how great Smash is. You know, we might get 70% of our advertising revenue. But let's say we talk about some bugs in the game or some exploits or some problems with the community or some problems with the game itself. They might decide like, nah, we don't like that. So you're only going to get 5% ad revenue or 1% ad revenue. Or they might just, I don't know, kill the video entirely. You know, that's in their power. That's entirely in their power. There's a couple ways to look at it. Nintendo has always been about money. This is true, like always. This is why they fell out. And we were talking about this earlier. This is why they fell out with Square. They fell out with Square over money. They lost the Final Fantasy series because they didn't want to give Square a bigger cut. They didn't want to give Square the money that Square was asking for. So that's why they fell out with them. They lost the PlayStation over something that may have been some money because the PlayStation was initially being developed for Nintendo by Sony. Sony did not want to get into the gaming industry. Sony was building that as like a disc add-on or something, sort of like the 32X or the Sega CD or some bullshit like that, for the Super Nintendo or something. But again,
Yeah. And I think what's hurting a lot of different
Nintendo,
things is a lot of people are trying to say like, oh, they own all these properties and they have the absolute right to basically not allow for their content to be on online internet. And that is true. But my big thing is like, okay, if you're going to do that, I think they should just pull all Nintendo videos from the thing and not allow no one to upload Nintendo stuff. And then they should make their own site and then just take themselves out the YouTube game. I wish everybody would strike for that because...
I think they have a channel though, right?
Yeah, I think they do have a channel.
Maybe that's what they want to be their official channel.
But
right now they're saying, look, you know, we're trying to meet you halfway, basically, because before you couldn't make any money off of Nintendo.
Oh yeah, and I just think that's just basic greed. And you know, any situation where you get greedy, it always backfired. Look at the music industry where it used to be. Look at the music industry now.
But see, here's the difference between Nintendo and the music industry. The music industry, the quality waned. The products got worse. The music got worse. You know what I'm saying? Because they valued the wrong things. You know, so people stopped buying that shit. Nintendo products, as long as the quality remains good, as long as Smash Brothers is a good game, as long as Mario games are fun, as long as Zelda games and Metroid games and Mario Kart and all that stuff is fun for people to play, Nintendo will be around forever. They are a corporation. And as a corporation, they value money.
And by all means,
the respectable thing about Nintendo is they maintain as a corporation that not only values money, but who also value putting out a quality product. And even if it means overworking and stressing their game creators like the Smash.
And I understand that. But my whole thing is this, is that if they want to do all that, and that's how they want to do, that's fine. I just hope people boycott Nintendo just in generally, because because my whole big thing is this. YouTube, all this video created content, all this stuff that they create for Nintendo that Nintendo doesn't have to do anything about is free. It's free advertisement. And you know, if Nintendo, if they could do what they wanted, they could have did something like this. You guys get 100% of all the ad revenue, but we're going to run nothing but Nintendo commercials on your YouTube videos. That would have been a fine intermediate thing. They could have been like this.
It's a good middle ground.
That's a real good middle ground.
And like I said earlier, I'm not disagreeing with you about it being greedy. I'm just
I understand. It's just
Nintendo's a corporation, because here's other corporations. Ubisoft is a corporation. Well, Ubisoft is a company. I don't know if they're a corporation because they're under EA. We can say that EA is Ubisoft is a fucking corporation. French bastards. They big as shit. EA, BioWare is under EA. EA is a corporation, and you've seen what EA has done to the Call of Duty franchise. Activision, sorry. But you know, Activision, EA, these types of things, they're huge, they're massive. You know what I'm saying? And you look at their products, and we can question. We haven't been questioning Nintendo products.
Well, we can question Nintendo's in the sense is that it's the big thing with Nintendo is this: they don't have really good third-party support. So that's the trade-off.
I don't think it's third-party support. I think it's.
I mean, because you can get a Zelda and you can get a Mario and you can get so much, but it's all at the end of the day is just you'll never see a Last of Us on Windows or on Nintendo stuff. You'll never see Tom Clancy's the unit and stuff like that. Well, yeah, that's the Sony. But I'm just saying, let me give you better. You won't see Call of Duty. You won't see. I don't think you'll ever see that.
But here's the reason why. It's because the Nintendo products have often been deemed as weaker, as far as you know, weaker in power. You know, like they don't have the. But the thing about it is, Nintendo puts out games that run well. You know, nobody's complaining about. You know, Mario Kart 8 not working when it came out. Nobody's complaining about Smash Wii U or Smash 3DS not working when it came out.
Yeah, but the one thing though is if I want to make a YouTube video and I put it online and I want to share it with friends and show people and develop a community for the game,
I agree.
And if I'm doing all this work, like they set up like a world tournament for the Mario Kart, like a world tournament, and they actually had it all official with the brackets and all that good stuff like that. And players put in a bunch of time for that, and Nintendo does it. My big thing is this: Nintendo benefits from tournaments and all this extra stuff from work and content people do on YouTube. It's free publicity, and it makes people buy their stuff. They don't have to do any work or do anything. But then,
they officially sanction
and then after that, you got people coming in. Then after it blows up and it does well, you want to come in there and get your amount of money, and that's why the fair use thing is starting to pop up a lot now in the world because people are getting tired of it. You know. Like, and there, I think is what gets me really crazy about this too is that eventually this is going to lead to gaming companies. What if all the gaming companies started doing this, right? And then they basically they don't want to have no type of like bad press. So what they do
they
is
would kill streaming. They would kill YouTube.
Exactly. They would kill all that.
People would flip the fuck out. People are not going to stop playing games, but they might stop streaming them.
Exactly. So could you imagine that?
Not going to do that because other companies, we know Nintendo's smart but stupid. You know what I'm saying? We both know that because they're stupid not to like Nintendo refuses to recognize the internet. So of course they wouldn't recognize YouTubers right to exist. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm just saying, it's just,
but
it's a scary thing because I feel they're gonna use it as a way to censor motherfuckers, so they can't tell you, hey, because I mean,
they have that power.
That's scary. So, or what if I had a video and it shows me playing, let's say I'm doing a speed run for a new Zelda that's gonna come out on the Wii U, right? And I do that shit. Like, so good it gets 5 to 10 million views, right? Let's say it just gets about 6 million views, which some games for speedruns, you believe it or not, they do. On a 6 million view video, that's like easily over $10,000 worth of money because of the views. Because like about 1 million views, I think it comes up to be anywhere between $500 to $1,000 per million views.
Fucking with Nintendo, you can get anywhere from $7,000 of that down to maybe 700 of that.
Or what if it starts blowing up and then Nintendo says, "Oh, okay, well, you're starting to get a lot of trending view on this, so now now we're gonna lower how much you get on it, so we get more money." And stuff like that.
To go even further into it, they actually have a list of approved games. Not every game is even on that list. I'm almost certain there's no Smash Brothers games on the list.
So you can't even stream those?
No, you can't make money off those videos because it's not on the list. It's not approved. It has to be approved videos of approved games.
Oh, that's so bad. That is so bad.
The game has to be on the list.
Like I said, at the end of the day, I guess what it is
while we debate this, much like healthcare.gov, they got too many applications, and they couldn't handle. So people are applying for this, and one of the complaints was like, hey, there are too many people applying, and Nintendo actually didn't expect that many people to be trying to sign up, so they actually came under fire because they couldn't handle it. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't understand.
Before you can start making money, Nintendo has to approve it, and like I said, all the shit has to be on a list and everything. And
it's just so cumbersome.
YouTubers have
they're probably wasting more money paying people to actually be in this application process and approve all these applicants than if they just would have just told YouTube, hey, every Nintendo thing, we're flagging it, give them 100%. We're running nothing but our commercials on our games. Or they could have been like, we're going to take 20%, you take 80%, keep doing what you do.
Yo, this is so, like, it goes even deeper. If you try to register your channel, right, your channel cannot have any videos that are not approved. None.
That's
like,
so crazy.
No. If you have, like, any videos that are not on the list, then your registration will not be cleared. You're given 2 weeks.
You know what? I'll tell you this. Who knows? Maybe I'll make a Nintendo channel just to do this. You know why? If I made Nintendo games with certain products and stuff like that, and with the rules being so regimented, I think a lot of people might sign up for it, but a lot of people are not going to follow through. Yeah. And then if they feature your channel, that means a few people that are smart and do a bunch of Nintendo games and basically kiss Nintendo's ass, they will probably end up making good revenue and have it to the point where they will get a lot of support and stuff like that if you think about it that way. Because not many people are going to follow those regimens and stuff like that.
Metroid should have had multiplayer online. I agree with
Oh, no. So we can see how bad everybody is? No.
Yeah,
then everybody will cry? No. We don't need to have none of that. But anyways.
It would have been interesting.
I like to keep talking about this, but I think we got some interesting stuff that we talked about.
No, we cannot, and we have to at least talk about Scarlet.
Oh, I almost forgot about that. You sure you don't want to say that for next week? We can talk about it.
I just saw it today. It's out there. It's been a
All
thing.
right.
So we gotta at least.
Scarlett's a professional gamer in the StarCraft scene. She's a female player. She's done very well for herself. She's accumulated over $111,000 in tournament winnings, and she's actually leaving StarCraft to go play Dota 2. And the reason why she said this is, I think, maybe the money potential. But the biggest thing she said is after that she might actually end up retiring, because she said she wants to go to school to get what is it? She says basically
Korean or something else.
To learn how to speak Korean.
That she considered majoring in.
Exactly. Or, long story short, she's saying that she wants to focus on her education because there might not be a future in esports.
Well, she also tweeted, right, that if she doesn't have a 6.5K MMR by the end of February, she might go back, or she'd go back to StarCraft 2. Now, Scarlett, we should have transitioned into this a little bit earlier in the night, but it's cool, because Scarlett is transgender.
Do you have that link real quick? They'll
Yeah,
save this for the... Okay, great. Go ahead.
But Scarlett is transgender. And this article says she's won about what, $111 something thousand from tournament winners. She's only 20 years old, by the way. And she's made 6 figures playing StarCraft 2, and it didn't fully account for it. Said it in a host of other things too, like sponsorships and things of that nature. But yeah, what does it say? They say that the games, there are certain things that may or may not carry over. You know, just because you're a top player in SC2 doesn't mean you'd be a top player in Dota. Individually you might be, but Dota's 5v5, not 1v1. You know, but I also think that it's silly. One of it is, you touched on it first, the money. The money in Dota 2 is way higher than the money in StarCraft, because Dota 2's last major tournament, the International 4 last year, right, had an $11 million prize pool. First place took $5 million. A Chinese team won it.
Right. I think the big thing is, what did people miss the whole point is, when you look at the NBA and baseball and how everything first started off, it started off very small, and how like esports doing here, and it really was up to the individual players to market themselves. Whether you have a Magic Johnson, or you have a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, all those guys back in those days really knew how to market themselves, and they knew how to handle their money correctly.
Maybe when it was the ABA,
you know, or maybe even with that,
when all those teams sort of merged into the NBA, or because there was the NBA, there was the ABA, and then they brought in a bunch of ABA teams as well, and that was. But the NBA was always pretty big. If you were an NBA player or part of an NBA team, you were always.
But even in the ABA, I would have to say you were still making pretty good money than most of the people in the United States, probably. And then if you marketed yourself, you could have just basically eventually moved on to the NBA if you were a good player, solid.
It was decent, but they weren't making anywhere close to NBA money.
It's like the WNBA. Like the WNBA doesn't make anywhere near the NBA, but all those people are very well off if they're smart with their money and they play for many years.
Though, of the WNBA that have the sponsorships, like you said, they find ways to make more and more money for themselves.
For somebody saying that she doesn't see a future in it, the sad thing is like, she doesn't stream, she doesn't market herself, she doesn't. If she were to stream on a regular basis and market herself and do everything like that, she could make a staggering amount of income. More than I think she could going to any college job, because she's young, and she's a female, regardless of what people say. Because do you know the African American light skinned guy Stefano? He was a French StarCraft 2 player.
What's he French?
He made like a staggering amount of money,
bro.
And he said he. Yeah.
There are league millionaires right now. There's no question that there's money.
Money. It's just I'm just very shocked she said that.
What it is there's no money in StarCraft esports. She didn't want to say that.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. There is no money in StarCraft. The people who make the most money in StarCraft are not the players. It's the people who entertain. It's the people who make casters. That's just how it is. And the difference is in League is the same thing. It's just like It sucks, but it's just how it is in StarCraft, and the community did it to itself.
I definitely think that statement was a cop out. I definitely think she didn't want to just shit on the StarCraft community and StarCraft.
Well, her leaving the Dota obviously already does that.
Well, see, some people support her because it's like, well, these are her reasons. She's just looking for something different. She's not having fun with StarCraft, so she's gonna go try to test herself in another. Like, she's going over there for potentially more money, which is fine.
But I don't think she's gonna be able to compete at that level, though. I guarantee she won't.
A team, and she plays well, and she starts making money, she ain't gonna be talking about that I'm gonna quit esports to go to college.
No, hell no.
You're 20 years old. You really want to go to college and learn something? Milk this esports shit for as much money as you can and save your paper. If you're smart enough to understand that you want to go to college, you should be smart enough to know how to invest your money and take those 6-figure winnings and make that shit work for you.
Well, exactly. And in Korea, they start off and then they turn into coaches and players. You could start off as... Because basically you start off popular in the esports scene, and then you start doing your YouTube videos, and then you start doing, your little helping players and streaming on a regular basis, and then you can start doing articles, maybe launch your own site, build a community site.
She needs a brand manager. You're right.
She does need a brand manager, because Scarlett can market herself. She could be Queen of Blades and have her picture on stuff and make tons of money. But like I said, we're not talking about the money. She's a Zerg player, so it fits in perfectly.
Yeah.
So it's not about the money. I mean, what do you think, KJ? I think. How about you? How you feel about? Do you think the esports thing is gonna die? I don't think it's going to.
I think it's going to die.
Too much money in it.
There's too much money. Way too much money. People want to see the game being played competitively.
We get more and more sponsors coming over, man. The Air Force Reserve sponsors a team. They sponsor C9, HTC, Qualcomm, these big telecommunications, fucking mobile phone processor developers and shit. They like HTC is sponsoring like 3 LCS teams. They're sponsoring Team Liquid. They sponsor TSM and they sponsor Cloud9 as well. Like there's Coca-Cola sponsors the LCS.
Coke Zero, man. You know how many times I'll be at a store and I'll be like, man, I want some of that Coke Zero. Because I'm like, wait a minute. Then it's LCS. I remember Sublimming putting that shit in my head.
Exactly. She could learn Korean, go over at the end of her career. She's from StarCraft 2. StarCraft 3 comes out from Blizzard. She'd be over there casting and shit, coaching a fucking team.
That's what like I said, the people who make the most money is not the players. It's the motherfuckers who own the team and stuff. Who do all the like Liquid Nazgul, he runs Team Liquid. You know how much money he's making right now and doing well?
Then it depends on what region you play in. Because there are Chinese league players who retired and they're making 800,000, almost 7 figures a year. Chow Mei I think he was on World Elite, right? He retired from League of Legends pro scene. Started streaming full time, selling shit on his stream because apparently you can do that in China, and you can also like Elo boost in there and sell that service, and it's 100% either overlooked or just legal. They don't give a fuck about it. But he makes 800 grand a year playing League of Legends, and he's not even a pro.
I think, what is it called? Doyu TV or something crazy like. They look like they copy League. They copy that so hard.
Probably did. They don't care.
No, they don't.
Nigga, they had a League of Legends clone. Listen, the company that owns Riot, Tencent, also produced like a sort of League of Legends clone with like Naruto characters and Bleach characters.
That's so bad. That is so bad. Well, I've been trying to think about streaming on that site too, on the Chinese site. If I figure out a way and do it with Diablo 3 and get not speak a lick of Chinese, but show off Diablo 3.
剑也掉了好几把了，这种情况看来是公平的。
Like I'm watching one guy. This guy's streaming Hearthstone right now.
World's worst ping to that fucking server.
I wouldn't care, but you know how many people will come in and watch me because I'm winning? Because I'm winning. It was
win, no matter
12-minute delay on it and shit just because the ping is so
wouldn't
low.
even
They
care.
have so many drop frames.
I don't even care. I'm looking at the site right
好，
now.
这次狙击手们都出不来，这把打得太快了，狙击
I
手
don't know. He's yelling out a bunch of stuff in Chinese right now. Like right now, they have 4,000 people watching somebody play Warcraft 3 Dota. I mean, that's crazy to me.
That's Dota, Warcraft. Like you go and if you can find, I don't know if Chow Mei on.
Hey, they got somebody streaming King of Fighters 97,
viewers.
getting 1,000 views. That's crazy.
What's it called? Is it Doya.tv?
Yeah, you know what? Brother might have to start streaming here. They got way more viewers on StarCraft. then
they said that he gets like 400,000 viewers at peak times.
That's crazy. You know what? Do you think... I gotta look into this. This is crazy. Like, they have more viewers on StarCraft than the other one, and I bet you those players are not better than a lot of them in North America.
You also have to understand they have significantly more people than the rest of the world.
That's what I'm talking about. I gotta start streaming to China. Gotta be fair. I'm looking at Diablo 3. Diablo 3, okay, well, Diablo 3 in America is better because they only have 171. But see, if I were to stream, that's another audience and stuff like that. But I mean, it's just interesting. I'm gonna bookmark this page.
Chow Mein. World Elite Chow Mein.
I'm gonna try to figure out how to stream on this site. I'm gonna figure out a way. And you guys are gonna be like, what happened to Debo? He doesn't stream here. He streams on DouYu. And I'd be saying a bunch of stuff in Chinese and wearing crazy outfits and stuff. That is pretty impressive.
Maybe I should brush up on my Chinese so I can go on there.
This guy. Let me see. Let's take a look at the World of Warcraft.
2 years. What are you doing?
World of Warcraft got a large, big following. A large. That's pretty big.
400,000.
That's pretty crazy, man. Huh? And it is the same thing. Like they copy. I don't even know what they're saying. Why can't they translate this stuff?
Hey, give me the link. Maybe I can listen to. Maybe I can understand a little bit.
You know, I'm gonna have to look into this. This is actually very interesting. I'm gonna link it. Hold on, relax. It's just I want to link it inside the stream. You guys should definitely check out the site though. It's pretty interesting. But I think that's pretty much it for today.
One thing.
Yeah, what?
Go ahead. It's not a big deal. It wouldn't be relevant like 2 weeks out. I was gonna talk about the shit that played those ads that played during the Super Bowl for those free-to-play games.
Yeah, what's up with all that, man? They had some ads that looked depressing like a motherfucker.
It was for a couple of free. Liam Neeson did an ad for Clash of Clans.
What's Clash of Clans?
No, you don't know Clash of Clans? I bet KG knows what Clash of Clans is. He probably plays that shit. He probably playing that shit right now. KG
What's that game?
KG type motherfucker play Clash of Clans. Now, it's like some weird. It's a free to play game.
Is it on the phone only?
Game. Yeah, it's a little strategy game. Where you have a town, I guess, and you raise an army, and then you have a clan, and you attack other people's towns or some shit like that. And like building stuff takes time, but you can pay money to build things faster.
Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad.
This dude on the front page is streaming Hearthstone.
Pay to win, basically.
Legendary. Yeah. But they advertised this, and you know, the commercial was cool. I just thought it was weird. But Clash of Clans has been advertising for a lot. They've had a lot of ads on TV. This other game, it was some new game that Kate Upton, they used a little model for. I'll put the links up in the chat, and I don't know if maybe like you can check out. They should have the ads. Actually, I should probably separate those. Actually, apologize. If
I wonder why game companies don't advertise like this no more. I guess they don't see a good return on their investment and stuff like that. Like that's so weird to me. Free to play games are jumping to do that stuff, but big game like Blizzard and other companies are not trying to advertise their stuff there.
WoW will run their commercials like a week before the game actually comes out. That's how Blizzard will do for World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I must admit, I don't know. The whole thing with that is, I think it's just capitalizing on people who just never, because the gaming mobile industry, I don't even consider that part of the gaming industry. I just consider that something completely different.
I think a lot of those free to play games need to die. Yeah. Well, yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there and just talk about it a little bit, because they're using the shitty games now are using celebrities. Clash of Clans is not a game I've ever played, but I do know a lot of people that actually play Clash of Clans. Apparently, they have fun with it. It's a nice little time consumer, and some people enjoy it. I think who was it? I say he says he plays Clash of Clans and stuff like that. So. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting to see those, and I wonder how much money do these companies have? Because Super Bowl commercials ain't cheap, bro.
No, they're gonna make their money because they're free to play games. They're low investment. They don't really require like lots of development. They're easy to patch and easy to deal with, and it preys upon people's inhibitions or inabilities to not spend money. I think in the future they're gonna have things to make it so people put restrictions on how much people can buy and shit, or something to a extent like maybe kitty locks and shit. Because motherfuckers will go crazy. People can't. You're gonna have people instead of going to gambling addiction and shit, they're gonna go be going to free to play like addiction motherfucking movies because they can't. They spend too much money. Like for me, the mobile industry gaming is not even gaming to me. I just view that as something completely different. It's just motherfuckers who want to buy. I just consider that the mobile app industry. I don't consider it gaming because it isn't gaming. Fuck shit is that? Hey, if you spend more money building up this town, you get your shit out faster. Nigga, how do you get 10 spearmen outside my base and now you're destroying it? I spent $15.99 to get the boost. Better get your boost. And then, you know, and that's just how it goes.
I don't know who this guy is, but yeah, he's got 377,000 viewers. And then you can buy things from their stream.
But I don't think they allow they wouldn't allow no Americans to stream there and make money, would they?
I
don't think they would.
They
need to have an English site.
The biggest thing is you would have to talk to the streaming, like the people.
I'd have to move to China. If they want me to move to China, I'll move to China. I've been living in a little rucksack community. I'll be on the little scooters riding around everywhere, and I stream all day.
You know what you know, since you know the site, why don't you try to set up an account?
I want to try to.
If you can translate this and understand. I don't know if this is Mandarin, Cantonese, or
shit. I'll hire some guy to.
I can understand it.
That's Mandarin.
Because I was sitting there watching him. I was watching one of the guys stream. I was listening to what he's saying. He was just talking about Hearthstone, saying he doesn't have the cards he needs and shit, and then he got fucked by RNG.
Hey, Carrie, did you get on that fucking shit with this fedora? He'll have Asian woman throw himself out of I send him all my paycheck just to watch him. He's my favorite.
Yeah, here's a guy. He's facing, I guess, a rank 1 legendary player or legend player, whatever. In Hearthstone, he's streaming to 192,000
That's ridiculous.
Viewers.
That's ridiculous.
And the rates, so they are making so much more money, dude, than the most.
That's why I get mad at Twitch.
Twitch streamer that
Twitch need to come up out the pocket.
Just wow. And this goes to show you how 192,000 people are watching this guy play Hearthstone.
Yeah, it is kind of hard. Well, I think it's hard because we don't know how to read
League of Legends. And this
We
guy
don't know
has
how to
2 room
actually do it.
pages in League of Legends, by the way.
2 rune pages.
Yes,
That's
two
how
room
much I have.
pages.
Just two room pages.
That's why you're bad.
No, I'm fine.
Mordekaiser top full tank build versus Anasis.
Wait a minute. Let me see.
But yeah, I don't know. That was
Yeah, and their revenue I bet is higher.
We could finish off or polish off those last 2 topics and then keep it rolling, or you know, they're not huge. So
Let me see here.
the one about Blizzard and the other one about Sony.
Oh, that shit pisses me off. Okay, first of all, Sony Online Entertainment Company behind EverQuest next to H1Z1 and behind EverQuest, they finally sold themselves, right? Let me tell you a story about Sony Online Entertainment. Anything they touch goes to shit. And let me tell you, you know what it is? Because I'm an EverQuest player from back in the day. And you know what? They killed EverQuest 1. They killed Star Wars Galaxy. And they killed motherfucking EverQuest Online Adventures, which was one of the greatest MMORPGs ever put up on the PlayStation 2. They're crooks.
I have 3 room pages.
Fuck that, man. Sony Online Entertainment, I'm glad they got sold because they go to shit. Whatever they touch, it goes to shit. It's the shittiest shit. I hate Sony Online Entertainment.
I don't know the name of the new company that bought them. I just thought it was interesting that they got sold after all the stuff that was going on with H1Z1. From my understanding, it's not related, though, to any other controversy with H1Z1. And they say that you don't have to worry about EverQuest Next or any of the other games, that the separation from Sony is actually going to give them more freedom, and you're likely to see that translate better into the game. So the games that are supposed to be coming out will still come out. The sale of the company, it's not going to affect the timetable or anything like that. So I don't know. I thought it was interesting. Like you said, they made Star Wars Galaxies and all that shit, so that'll tell you something.
The whole big thing with the Sony Online Entertainment industry, like I said, it's they got greedy. They messed up a lot of their games because they start putting money behind their practices and how they balance and how they do stuff. And I'm glad they're getting sold, but I think it's too little too late because a lot of people don't want to deal with them in their games. And I think the other one is the whole thing about basically Blizzard releasing StarCraft 2 Arcade, 3,000 models, including heroes and character models from Warcraft 3. Go to hell, Blizzard. You're going to end up having us create your fucking game, and you're going to market that shit and make money off of it, and then you're not going to compensate the players. So basically, we're developing Warcraft 4 for these motherfuckers. That's how I feel about that. That's terrible.
Did you move on to the Blizzard thing already?
Oh, yes. Like, you don't realize how much I hate Sony Online Entertainment. That's why I don't play no more EverQuest. I had at least 6 or 7 level tunes maxed out back in the day.
Like, even with them saying that, right? That now players with that, they can just make Warcraft 4 in. Obviously, they would have to create their own story. But with all of these models and stuff being released for StarCraft 2, did you see the game, the remake of Warcraft 3 that the guys?
Yeah, and they're working on it.
Before they even release these models.
Exactly, and if they'd be able to capitalize on the models they introduce, it's going to make the game even better. What's going to happen is...
if a fan makes Warcraft 4...
it's not even going to be Warcraft... What they're going to do is they're going to take Warcraft 3, update everything to Warcraft, and make it run on StarCraft 2. Then everybody's going to be playing Warcraft 3 on StarCraft 2, and then Blizzard's going to go in there... they're going to take all the game and shit, then they're going to re-release it on StarCraft 2 engine and charge your ass $29.99. And then if you want to get the digital deluxe version, which has like all your fucking units with the little tiny little hat on, it's $10 more for $39.99. And then
that's the one reason I don't want Blizzard to make Warcraft 4. Everybody's like, oh yeah, like you don't want the current version of Blizzard making any game that you actually want.
Oh no, I think they could make a wonderful Warcraft 4 if they go back in time and get them, or just basically go to all the people who made Warcraft 3 and kept the same exact team and let them do what they want to do.
Those people probably don't exist anymore.
And then you got to bring in the guy who's going to do the lore. Who's going to do the lore? And the lore guy comes in, look, man, I've been eating up this Warcraft money, nigga, and this is what we're going to do. I don't give a fuck about Warcraft 4. We're going to run this Warcraft shit for another 10 years. I already got something about where you go back in time and go back in time again, and then you go to the future, then you go back in time again to prevent what happened in time, and then go back in the future to prevent what happened in the past. And the alternate alternative reality and shit.
Nigga, you just gave away the premise of Warlords of Draenor. That's so stupid.
It's so bad.
Oh man, it is true though, man. Like I don't understand it though. It really doesn't make any sense to me. Why they are the way that they are, man, and like it's ridiculous, dog. Right now, where Blizzard's current focus is. And just for more satire on Blizzard, man, go to YouTube and Google honest trailers, Hearthstone. I can just watch that and that'll tell you.
Yeah, that one had me wrong.
You watched that too? There's so much honesty in that. Like, and I guess that's why they call it honest trailers, but it was so accurate, man, about, where Blizzard...
Other good games, when they were being honest about it, they had to kind of stretch to make fun of it. With Hearthstone, it just self-deprecated on itself.
It's just, oh man, and they just talked about Blizzard's focus and how they are not in a position to, how they would, like, instead of working on new shit, they'll just, you keep putting out free-to-play games and Pixar movies.
Yeah,
you don't want the current Blizzard making Warcraft 4. So them releasing this stuff to StarCraft, you can't compare Hearthstone or Heroes of the Storm in any way to any product that Nintendo releases, whether it be a Mario game or because Super Mario 3D World, whatever, I guarantee you offers way more complex platforming than anything you'd see being offered in Heroes of the Storm as a game. Or
the biggest problem is that Blizzard was known and got really big based on the Diablo franchise, Warcraft franchise, and StarCraft franchise. StarCraft and Warcraft were both RTSs, and then eventually they got into the MMORPG scene with World of Warcraft, which is fine. And also, if you look in terms of StarCraft with the RTS scene, that was fun, and Diablo is with the whole action RPG creating genre was fantastic. I think a lot of people, we understand the business aspect from it, for them to make a lot of money, because at the end of the day, they just want to make the most amount of profits. But the problem is that Blizzard is turning their back on the games that made them famous, which a lot of people get mad on. That's like Nintendo doing a bunch of free-to-play games that are coming out, and they neglected Zelda, and they neglected Mario, and Mario Kart, and Super Smash Brothers, and Metroid. If they were to do the same thing that Blizzard was doing now, you know how many Nintendo fans would lose their mind? They'd probably get a bunch of death threats.
And that's why I say, man, you know, Nintendo's greed is, I can accept Nintendo's greed. Just, you know, just because.
Like I said, I'm just waiting for the gaming industry just to burn the fuck down so it can rise from the ashes like a phoenix.
Nintendo will survive.
Oh, Nintendo will survive, but like I said, they need. Hopefully, they get to a point where they only make handhelds and make software.
And that's when we're gonna get Super Mario RPG 2, the actual official sequel to Super Mario RPG. They're gonna make up and kiss and hug with Squaresoft.
Nah, it's too much blood. Once Square Enix start eating on their own, Square Enix is just, Square Enix is starting to do a lot of
right now, man.
Square Enix doing good. They already started like project lighting all these different games.
Losing money for the last few quarters. They've been posting losses.
Well, if they actually just release Kingdom Hearts
with that Final Fantasy 13 shit.
Yeah. If they just stop doing that shit and just release the games that people want, Square Enix will be fine. So I'm not too worried about it.
KH3 is not coming out for 4 years.
Why do you gotta say stuff like that? What I tell you about speaking shit into existence, man? You know I love Kingdom Hearts. You know I love Sora, Donald, and Goofy. You just gotta say some shit like that. You know what?
Listen to this.
You know what? What you gotta say?
Profits more than double year over year.
Well, you know what? I tell you what.
What bullshit are you reading?
Well, tell you what. We're gonna look into that next week and go in depth about this shit. Cause y'all starting to speak stuff in depth. Y'all talking about Kingdom Hearts and y'all got me emotional right now. We don't talk about Kingdom Hearts like that. It's gonna be the greatest game ever.
$73.1 billion right now, up from 61.6. And then last year, I guess they more than doubled. Yeah, they're making a lot, dude. And their top publisher their top published games are Dragon Quest X and Final Fantasy 14.
Let's see. Well, okay. Well, maybe that was maybe it's been a while. Maybe they've
made good money, but I do know that
the last time I looked in it, they posted $134 million net loss.
Here's the thing: they lost a shit ton of money when they first released Final Fantasy 14. 13 put them so much in the green that they were able to be okay because 13 made so much money, and they did so well that year. But Final Fantasy 14 just undermined everything.
Yeah.
But they bounced back and they're doing things a lot better. But anyways, cutting the podcast here. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. This nigga said Kingdom Hearts ain't coming out for 4 years. He's such a lie. Hope you guys enjoy yourself and enjoy this long podcast. We always say this every week. KG, do you have any words for the people? Do you have anything of knowledge to say to people? Okay, what about you, Savius? No, you don't say nothing.
Get up on them dicks.
Okay, you know what? Y'all have a good day and I'm done.
That's how we do it in Kingsport.
This dude.
Alright. So I'm gonna switch with you ugly ass niggas. See you back on Red Call. These niggas. Let me see here. Let me move this over here. Let me go over to... where is it at, Ray Call? Yeah.
He says that while Heroes of the Storm and while Hearthstone and all that stuff is simple, they're simple and they're fun and blah blah blah, you know, and it's lore cross fans blah blah blah. Listen, the guy doesn't get it, you know. He says the ability to not enjoy simplistic game is not Blizzard's fault. It's not about not enjoying the games.
No, Hearthstone's a great game. Heroes of the Storm's a great game.
You don't have a good argument.
World of Warcraft is a good game. We always say Blizzard's base game is fine. They're fantastic. They're fun. Here's the whole thing. Here's the thing. They're just fucking greedy to the point where it's ridiculous now. They're fucking too greedy.
The business model in Heroes of the Storm is fucking stupid. And like I said, if they gave all the heroes